Hey guys, Jacob with Jacob Comics. Alright, we have a really fun episode. We're going to be reviewing Dark Web X-Men number 3. And look at that. That cover actually displays what goes on in the comic pretty well. It's a very painterly cover too. It's honestly pretty. Alright guys, now before we get dived into the issue, I do want to let you guys know about the 600 subscriber giveaway. When we hit 600 subscribers, we'll be giving this book away. It's a Marvel #1 variant. All you have to do is like the video, comment down below, and be subscribed to the channel, and that'll give you a chance to win. Alright guys, let's get dived into Dark Web X-Men 3. Now, as usual, I do want to let you know we're going to be going heavy into spoilers, so if you don't want to be spoiled, that's your warning. Next, we always shout out the creative team because without the creative team, we wouldn't have a comic book, right, guys? So the creative team on this issue is Jerry Duggan is the writer, Rod Reese and Phil Noto are the artists, VC's Corey Petit is doing letters, and there we go. And it starts with Forge, who is defending the treehouse from all the craziness that's happening from all the creatures released from limbo, right? That have kind of the demons released from limbo have merged with all these different inanimate objects basically. So they're all running around like it's pretty funny. It's kind of Ghostbusters style, this whole event, just throwing that out there. And so Forge is defending the treehouse, and basically what we're taking from that is that he's using his technology to make it so they can't even get into the treehouse, and a bunch of they've saved a bunch of humans who are now hiding inside the treehouse from all these demons, right? And then we go into the conversation that's happening between Madeline Pryor and Jean Grey. And Madeline Pryor is explaining, she says, Mr. Sinister cloned Jean Grey and called her Maddie Pryor so that perhaps Cyclops would fall in love with her and they might have an interesting child. And they did. Cable changed the course of mutantdom forever. And then the gene copy was discarded by the villains and perhaps the heroes. The real Jean Grey returned, and for a short time before Cable was sent to the future, the trio was happy. And so that kind of covers a little bit of why she's upset in this. Like she says, she's basically jealous of Jean Grey, and she wants to use her powers to kind of extract the memories and what it was like to be Jean Grey during those years with her child, right? And because Cable, she gave birth to the child, and as she kind of explains, like, um, it, it was it was traumatic for her not being able to raise the child, and that she was just kind of thrown to the wayside as soon as Jean Grey came back. And we get, just to show a little bit of the art here, we get a lot of telepathic mind battling between the two as they're kind of hashing this out and everything. And Jean basically says, you can have what you want. And she's like, yes, I think I shall. And so they continue, and there's this paneling is really amazing too, with lots of psychokinetic energy, and Jean's like, now I'm pissed off. um, but she punches her across the room and kind of wakes up Magic, and tells Magic, basically, you can, everything's okay because I'm surrendering. And as we see here, Maddie, and it takes a while to get to that. They build to it for a while, and it's earned, guys. But as we see here, you know, they're even shocked. Both Magic and Maddie Pryor are both shocked. They're like, you are? You're just gonna surrender?" And she says, "You know, I told you I wanted to heal our wounds, but you were too busy throwing rocks to hear me. You weren't looking to hurt me with the drive." She says, "No, it wasn't about you. I never got over losing him. I gave birth to him alone in a kitchen. He was such a good, quiet baby, unlike the rest of those fussy Summerses," as we see a tear coming down her eye. Jean says, "You were after the memories of my time with Nathan before he had to leave." She says, I want it all. The good, the bad, first steps, burps, farts." And Jean says, then you shall have them." And she says, "Oh," kind of just shocked. And we get this image here of Madeline Pryor kind of being gifted all these memories by Jean Grey. And I know all the parents out there can definitely at least relate or have, I I get that. I feel like that makes sense. It's good writing, honestly. Good choice here on her reasonings. Her reasonings felt sound and everything. And then for her to get these memories of Cable as a baby who's actually like her kid, and it's drawn very well. You can see the look in her face after she's been gifted these memories, and she's very, it's almost like the knowledge has been, she knows now what she needs to do. And Jean says, "Maddie, giving you those memories doesn't take them from me. I didn't have them as long as I wanted either. Mutants grow up fast, especially the Summerses. But right now the world is still burning. New York needs the X-Men, so say the words." And Madeline says, "Me? Really?" And so she says, "To me, my X-Men." And Jean says, "Come on, is that the best you can do?" As we get Maddie trying harder. It says, "To me, my X-Men." And some of the X-Men show up, Cyclops and Havoc, and they have the puppies in tow from the previous issue. And Cyclops says, "We're behind schedule because we saved these guys." And Jean's like, "Uh-huh." And Havoc says, "I meant what I said before. This team doesn't need me. But that doesn't mean I'm not an X-Men. I'm going to serve, and I figure that's in your DNA too." As he's kind of looking at Maddie. And Maddie looks at Havoc and says, "Would you help me fix my mistake in New York? I think there's a way I can help make amends, and I owe you an apology, Havoc." He says, "Accepted." She says, "You sure you want to leave the team? Your family?" Havoc says, "My family is stuck with me, and I'll be an X-Men on my own terms. Now let's go kick some demon butt." As we see a bunch more of the X-Men arrive, basically with uh, Magic portaling them in. She says, "The gang's all here. We miss anything? Big fight? Any kissing?" And last page here is just kind of like all the heroes ready with Madeline Pryor on their side now, and she says, "You missed me learning. You missed me learning who the X-Men really are and what it means to be one. You put your faith in me, Magic, and I let you down. But this is my mess, and I'm still the Queen of Limbo, so it's time for me to clean it up. This ends now." And Magic says, "Plus we gotta return those dogs to their owners, right? Or can we keep one or two?" You kind of throw a little joke in there at the end. Um, so yeah, they've got Madeline Pryor's kind of issues settled there, and she's now on the team. And as I said earlier, just back in the bag and board. As I said earlier, after having read the issue, that cover's very poignant, isn't it? we can see Jean Grey's in the background, and Maddie and Havoc are maybe holding hands again. I don't know. Little little wink and a nod between those two in the issue too. Um, so thoughts on this? I actually kind of liked this. I wasn't really sure where they were going with the Madeline Pryor thing, or you know, because she's Jean Grey also, so she sometimes can lose the temper a little bit, but is still a good person at heart, and so that's there, and you're like, all right. And that's kind of honestly, guys, the same thing I've been saying about Ben Riley. Um, I felt like they pulled this one off. And the real question to wrap it seems now, at least for me, left to answer is can they wrap up the Ben Riley portion of this story? Uh, can they cross that finish line basically? Um, Obviously now we see we're gonna have Madeline Pryor on the good guys' side fighting against them, and there's only a handful of issues left. We have a Venom, an Amazing Spider-Man, another Venom, and the Dark Web uh, Ender number one, whatever it is. But that's the finale one. So there's only four more left for them to kind of let us know what's gonna be the ultimate how everything's gonna pan out. At least we're still in, and I want to say between maybe this is why it worked for me too. Between the two clones, I'm definitely more interested in what happens to Ben Riley. Side kind of interested in what happened with Madeline Pryor, but wasn't quite sure why, after having just been given limbo and seemed like she was a good guy, why the heel turned so quickly. So for them to just kind of, like I said, during the book, I even kind of pre-reviewed it. Like I said, I felt like they really, uh, the writing made sense. So her reasons for doing what she was doing, it makes sense. If you've ever been a parent, you'll do just about anything for your kids. And I can't imagine uh the scenario that she sets up. I can't imagine having having lived through that as a parent. That would have been awful. And I could see how that upset her, and she wanted her memories. She wanted to know what it was like and to have been replaced and have someone else mother your child. Yeah, just I felt like that was good, and obviously it kind of yeah, it just hit home. It was a good issue for me. I am a parent. I have kids, so a lot of that worked. A lot of her motivations, and then in the end too, her turn there back to the good. It all felt like it made sense for me, and that's what I have today, guys. So Dark Web X-Men 3 gets a thumbs up. Um, that's what I have. Like I said, like, comment, subscribe if you watch this far into the video. Helps the algorithm, so more people could come and join us and talk about comics. All right, guys, that's what I have. We'll see you guys next time, and have a great day.